I have about 2 weeks until the event starts, as of today, filming this. So, I am going to show you how I prep for Halloween Horror Nights. That includes watching movies that are going to be featured at the event. It also includes doing an Unmasking the Horror tour where I take you on a lights-on experience through some of the houses that'll be featured in the event. I can't film in the houses, but I can show you all the photos and kind of talk you through what it was like and my thoughts on them. But tonight we are going to actually go inside the park because they've already started setting up for some of the scare zones and some of the food booths at the event, and there is new merch to see as well. So let's go see it. As soon as we walk in, we have the archway here that says Halloween Horror Nights. I am so excited to see this at night, all lit up. So the first place I want to visit is the Five and Dime. This is usually the merchandise location that will have Halloween Horror Nights items. This is the ID badge holder for this year. Looks like this is a coaster. And they have an ornament and mug, all with the same design. Here's some more Halloween Horror Nights merchandise, along with some more coasters. I guess that's the new thing this year, is to have coasters. We did get some coasters a couple years ago, but I don't remember them being like a every year type thing. Some more of the new artwork. You can see some of the houses for this year as well. They have a Quiet Place t-shirt. Looks like there's also a heat reactive Quiet Place mug, and this is what it will look like when you put your coffee or tea in it. Another one of the houses featured this year is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I actually just watched this movie. It was part of my Halloween Horror Nights prep watch. Creature from the Black Lagoon is my personal favorite. There is a scare zone this year that is themed towards the swamp, so I'm planning a little outfit towards the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and this shirt is pretty cool. All year round here inside the horror makeup show, you can see Jack the Clown and the Caretaker, my personal favorite, two of the most important Halloween Horror Nights icons. This year it seems like they're going more female centric with their icons. I'm excited to see how these characters for these scare zones will evolve, because even characters from other scare zones have become a house. This year we actually have Major Sweet's Candy Factory, which is going to be its own haunted house. It was a scare zone a couple of years back. The first scare zone that we're seeing setups for is Swamp of the Undead. This is the one I mentioned earlier that reminds me of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I am excited already. It very much looks like there's going to be people in like moss. Like, at least that's what I'm envisioning here. I wonder if they're going to have things that like make noise back here too. This used to be one of my favorite scare zone areas because they had pumpkins that would be in the trees all lighting up this whole area. Kind of almost made like a pumpkin tunnel. Standing by the Mr. Fan here to show you a little tiny glimpse I can see of Halloween Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus. That is going to be the theme for the live entertainment this year. I love a good circus theme, and they put on such an amazing show. Don't skip out on this when you come to Halloween Horror Nights. And this is where the sign will go when they finally put it up for the Nocturnal Circus. I just want to hear some of the songs. I want to hear what they're working on. I'll try not to be too nosy. Now we're coming up to the next scare zone, which is going to be for Blumhouse. This scare zone is going to feature different characters from different Blumhouse movies, including my fave, Megan. Last year they had the dancing Megans here at the event, so I'm hoping that I get to see her like one-on-one and maybe get a photo with her. That's my hope for this year. I have a feeling that this New York section of the park is going to be for the Renaissance themed scare zone. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from these setups here. People are already sitting on this stuff here, but yeah, this definitely gives off the torture Renaissance feel here. It says the Brazen Bull. I'm wondering if this thing is gonna light up down here. And here we are, the main event here. I'm hoping like the king and queen are gonna be sitting there guiding us through this ye olde torture fair. This is another area where it's always had really fun scare zones. Before the swampy scare zone, we have this El Mercado de los Monstruos. I have a feeling this is going to be themed because of the Monstruos Latin America themed house that we have this year. Another one that I'm looking forward to. They actually had it out in Universal Hollywood, so I'm wondering if it's going to be the same exact thing or they'll change it up a little bit. We've got some food booths set up here for Twilight Tavern. I wonder what kind of food they're going to have at this one. And of course the Twisted Tater booth. I am going to be here on night one. I'm hoping that they have new flavors this year, but we have to wait and see. No menus have been posted yet. I can tell this is going to be the Ghostbusters themed food booth here. Very curious to know what the offerings are going to be this year. And then the next one to it is saying it's Ivan's NYC Deli and Grocery. So this is going to be like a little bodega or something. And from Rip Ride Rocket, we go to the Insidious, the Further food booth. Very curious to see what food is going to be at this one as well. And these are also on my movie watch list for the event. Back here by Animal Actors, they've got a few more food booths here. The snack bar is giving me Slaughter Cinema vibes, so I hope that those houses are back here. And then they've got, of course, a little tribute to Cary, Ohio. They always got to throw some Cary in there somewhere. I am here in front of the old Ghostbusters theater area. They used to actually do Ghostbusters shows back in the day here at Universal, and this is kind of like a little window, a little tribute to that. But since Ghostbusters are going to be part of the event this year, I thought it was only fitting to end this section of the video here. We did get to walk around and see a lot of the scare zones and some of the food booths that'll be set up for the event. Next, I'm going to be showing you my Unmasking the Horror tour. Tons of pictures, but I'll try to give as much descriptions as I can and hidden details that they pointed out on the tour. Alright, it's a week later. Right behind me are the beautiful arches, and they have put up the Halloween Horror Nights medallions. Today is my Unmasking the Horror tour. I'm going to be seeing Slaughter Cinema 2, Triplets of Terror, and the museum Deadly Exhibits. 2 out of 3 of those I'm really excited for, but let's go inside, see what's new, and do this tour. As of today, the event officially starts in 1 more week. I get to have a preview of the event on Tuesday, and I'm staying at the Hard Rock. Super excited for it. Check-in for the Unmasking the Horror tour is actually in the old Blue Man Group Theater. I haven't done this tour since Halloween Horror Nights 30, and that one was really cool, but I don't know what to expect on this one. But I haven't even looked at too many spoilers because people have been doing this tour, and it's unique that this year it starts before the event. Here we go. These are from the Dark Zodiac Scare Zone from last year. This is the Aquarius one, so I had to see this one first. Very pretty details up close. You can see the fabric a little bit more. And then I believe this first one is Cancer here, and the other one is Gemini. But it's very cool to see these up close. I would love a tour of just seeing like all the costuming and everything from the event. For our tour, they give us a complimentary lanyard for the event. It's kind of like a souvenir. And then we have this listening device so we can hear our guide throughout the tour if we get separated. As we're walking to our first soundstage, I'm passing the HHN bar. So it looks like the houses that we're first visiting are back here behind Simpsons. Warning, spoilers ahead. Go to the next section of this video if you want to be surprised. The Museum Deadly Exhibits was our first house. We see a shipping container that is delivering artifacts and that a new exhibit is coming soon called the Rotting Stone. Each house had permits filed under names of different pastries. This house's codename was Baklava. Another thing to look out for are snails inside of each house. It's like this year's Easter egg. The Rotting Stone is, well, spreading its rot throughout the museum, and at night should all light up and have a pulsing look to it. And that was really cool to see because, of course, Universal makes all of their art inside the house, so like any graphic design things like the museum brochures and whatnot, those were all created for this house. This was one of the houses that was at the top of my hype list, so I really enjoyed walking through it. The second house that we walked through was Slaughter Cinema 2, and I tried to write down all of the horror B movies that are incorporated in this house. Mardi Gras Killings, I think, was the first one, and that was kind of about like 2 killer jesters that just go crazy in New Orleans. The next one was Heavy Metal Hell 3D. If you do have 3D glasses, I believe you can bring them into the house. They're not going to give them out, but there are some 3D effects, a little black light. There was also Killer Kringles, which is a Christmas themed house. Night of the Undead Clowns, which is kind of like zombie clowns and like toxic waste. There were a few Easter eggs in this area too for the Bugs Eaten Alive house. There's some props here and there from that house that are incorporated in both Slaughter Cinema and Triplets of Terror. Hatchet and Chains, The Demon Bounty Hunters. Blood and Chum, which was really cool. That one is like a underwater themed house with a very creepy giant shark puppets. We couldn't take photos in that section, but I will show you all of the photos, of course, that I was allowed to take in the house. Mummy Strippers Unwrapped is one that I was most excited to see because I didn't know that that was a part of the house. That was an area that you cannot film or take pictures in, of course. But it looks like there's gonna be a stripper pole set up in the middle of the room, and these mummy strippers are sucking the souls of the patrons that come to the strip club. And then Zyborgs, which is like a robotic monster themed house. Slaughter Cinema 2 is a fun, campy sequel house that pays homage to B movies. There's a big screen outside that will show projections of trailers for some of the movies featured in the house. This house's codename was Cobbler. Our tour ended with Triplets of Terror. It's March 3rd, 1984, and the Barmy triplets are celebrating their 9th birthday party in a house in the Midwest. There's a nod to this being the 33rd year in 2024 with the house number. With their birthday, they kill their whole family, and then every 10 years they change locations and recreate this birthday party. And trigger warning, there's also a dead dog, so if that bothers you, you might want to skip this one. The tour started around 10:30 and ended around 1 p.m. Doing this tour is such a fun way to see all the hidden details, learn how they make these houses with different effects, and to appreciate up close the artistry that the creative team pulls off. This week I rewatched the first Insidious movie. Tonight I'm rewatching the second one, but this is a look at the shirt for this house. They also have a scented candle. Kind of has a clean scent. I don't know if I'd associate with that with Insidious. This just came out. This is the Mel's Die-In sign. They always make Mel's look like, the sign look like this for each year. This is pretty cool. This is a little pin for the event. And then they've got like a coaster. I believe this is all for annual pass holders, and the shirt glows in the dark too. So right across from the Torture Fair Scare Zone is going to be the Tribute Store. A lot of the artwork and everything for this year's event has this like graffiti, street art type vibe to it. Almost looks like you're entering through a shipping container. I wonder if they're gonna have anything up there or if it's just scaffolding to kind of go through with the New York theme for everything. I'm gonna be spending money in here for sure this year. And that is my first video of Halloween Horror Nights for this season, how I prepped for the event, which included, you know, watching movies, walking around and seeing the scare zones before the event starts, and today a special thing of doing the Unmasking the Horror Tour before the event starts. I am going to be bringing you one more video from this event and several TikToks, so definitely make sure you're following me on there, and let me know which house you're looking forward to seeing the most this season. And I will see you next time on Lauren's Travels.